dear listeners, we are all set to witness one of the biggest sporting events to be hosted by our own state Nagaland, the Northeast Games 2024, scheduled from 18 to 23rd of March 2024. As the third edition of the Northeast Games, following the successful events in Manipur and Meghalaya, Nagaland has the honor of continuing this tradition of celebrating sports excellence in the region, from athletics to archery, from football to martial arts and many more. These games provide a platform for our athletes to shine and inspire. With participation from all states of Northeast region and competitions across 15 disciplines, these games not only promote sports but also foster a sense of unity and a camaraderie among the states of the Northeast. And to know more about this exhilarating and anticipating event, I have with me none other than Mr. Abu Mehta. He needs no introduction though, however, for our listeners who are listening across the state and abroad. Mr. Abu is the advisor to Chief Minister of Nagaland. He is the Secretary General of Nagaland Olympic Association, Associate Vice President of Indian Athletics, and Chairman IDEN Government of Nagaland. In this conversation, he will take us through every bit of the preparation that has been put in for the success of the upcoming Northeast Games 2024. I am your host, Asunyo. Welcome to our program, Mr. Mehta.
Thank you for having me.
Let me first begin by asking you, how is the state gearing up for the most awaited third Northeast Games to be held here in Nagaland?
Well, first of all, taking this opportunity, I want to say thank you to the Government of Nagaland, to the Chief Minister for making this happen. We're going to have one of the biggest sports events that Nagaland has hosted, perhaps the biggest ever and the most important ever in the history of the state. So it's a big event. So we're very grateful to the Government of Nagaland for supporting us. We're grateful to the Chief Minister for giving us guidance, his vision, and so that we could reach this far. And yes, now we're making all out preparations and everything is in its final stage. We're going to be using 3 districts to host the games. Why this is so? Because Nagaland doesn't have big and enough infrastructure in the field of sports. Normally these events are held in one dedicated space, but we're spreading out the games because we're taking athletics to Kohima because that's the only synthetic track we have in the state. We're taking lawn tennis to Dimapur, where we have an excellent upgraded tennis complex with synthetic courts. And then we have a couple of events in Chumukedima Police Complex, that's football and archery. And the rest of the games will take place here at the Regional Institute of Sporting Excellence, Sovima, Chumukedima District. So preparations are in the final stage. We're looking forward to memorable games, and hectic work is going on, but I'm confident that we'll pull it off, in an appreciable manner.
Can you also highlight us on the various disciplines included in this third edition of the Northeast Game? Is there any new disciplines that one can look forward to?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, this is, as I said earlier, the biggest games that we're going to be hosting. 15 disciplines, 8 states, more than 3,000 participants, athletes, officials, technical officials, volunteers. More than 3,000 people will assemble here to celebrate the spirit of sport. And out of the 15 disciplines, varying from football to archery to table tennis to badminton, a new introduction we have made this time is belt wrestling. Belt wrestling is gaining popularity across the world. It is also being held in lower levels of Olympic events. India is doing well in belt wrestling. Nagaland wrestlers have already won medals at an international level, and most importantly, belt wrestling is a traditional sport in Nagaland that has strong rooted grassroots presence amongst Nagaland's rural population and in the grassroots. Moreover, it is also the agenda of the state government. It is the agenda of the central government to promote traditional sports. So we've taken this opportunity to introduce belt wrestling. We're very excited about it. And here again, we're thankful to the Chief Minister for giving us this idea.
So is there any other of Northeast states participating particularly in this belt wrestling?
Absolutely.
Okay.
In fact, we had belt wrestling in the last Nagaland Olympic Games that was held last month, and we have introduced it this time. And I'm happy that the entire Northeastern Olympic Associations came forward and supported the move. And we're having teams from different states. At least 6 to 7 states will be participating in belt wrestling. As I said, belt wrestling is a traditional sport in Nagaland, but it is also an international sport.
Could you also enlighten us about the officials' appointment made by the Nagaland Olympic Association for this Northeast game?
Yeah, you see, the Northeast Games is a flagship event of the Northeast Sports Association. This Northeast Sports Association comprises of sports officials from all the states. And these games were first kick-started in Impal. Then we had the COVID years where we missed out a couple of years. The second edition was in Shillong, that is in Meghalaya. And now we are hosting the third edition. So the Northeast Sports Association comprises of representatives from all the northeastern states. We set up the organizing committee under the chairmanship of the state president and the chief minister, and co-convenership of the president of Northeast Sports Association, who is Mr. Radhesham from Manipur right now. He's an honorable MLA, a seasoned sports administrator. So it is basically a flagship event of the Northeast Sports Association.
To organize such a big event, you need a logistic arrangement from the ground level to the higher. So how arrangement are being done?
It's a huge logistical exercise. As I said, we have challenges of resources, infrastructure and facilities. And these three are required to host such a games.
Yes.
So those challenges have to be overcome. And yes, we have to find ways, we have to find solutions. More than 3,000 people will be assembling in these areas to play 15 sports disciplines. We also have technical officials coming from all over the Northeast and rest of the country. We have representatives of sports federations coming as observers. And we have participation from every Northeastern State Sports Association. The presidents and general secretaries will be coming. Department officials from the different states, government of the different states will be coming. It's a huge logistical exercise. We have to set up a games village that accommodates this 3,000 plus. We have to have hotel facilities and accommodation that accommodates the few hundred officials that come. That formula is being worked out. I look forward to taking my press friends to see some of these facilities in the coming days. And in fact, we've set up a games village which will accommodate 2,000 plus in one dedicated space with common facilities. And we have more than 8 disciplines that will have competition in the games village in one dedicated space, which means from the place where you're sleeping to these 8 venues, you can actually walk there.
Okay.
So this is a fantastic upgradation of infrastructure that has taken place, and this also opens the way and shows us the formula that Nagaland can host big ticket events in future.
Yes.
Nagaland government has said that it has the ambition to host the national games. So I think we're laying the building blocks and the foundation stones for that ambition to be achieved in the coming years. So it's a huge logistical exercise. But here I want to really appreciate young people who are working behind the scenes. We have a dedicated teams who are handling different verticals. Most of these games, when other states in the Northeast host them, bring expert consultants and specialized persons from other parts of the country, even abroad, to organize and execute the games. I am saying with pride that our young people, vendors from Nagaland, event managers from Nagaland are part of our team, and they are working together with us. No vendor to organize the event, in the management of the event, is from outside. It's all locally Nagaland. So I think Nagaland has also stepped up. See, in the past we've hosted Asia Music Summit, we've hosted G20, we've hosted the South Asian Cross-Country Championships, and the Hornbill Festival is an iconic event. And all these are young entrepreneurs, youngsters, event management are doing. So I think a lot of credit goes to them.
Recently, the Nagaland Olympic Association had released the logo of the game. So could you kindly elaborate the design?
Yeah, we recently released the games logo,
Yes.
where we have a feather of the hornbill bird that represents each of the states. There is also the Olympic flame that is burning in the middle. It is a combination of white and red that exemplifies purity, ambition, strength, power. But the logo's main message is unity and solidarity of the northeastern states. Apart from sport, this event also brings the entire Northeast together. We want to use sport as a platform to promote peace, oneness, unity. Oneness of Northeast is strength for the nation. Unity of Northeast is good for humanity. Sport should contribute to oneness. That is one of our main aspirations. And the motto of Nagaland Olympic Association is also stronger together.
March 18 would be the opening ceremony. So can you also highlight what can we expect from day one?
Logistical challenge, as I said earlier, big challenge. The unpredictability of weather in today's day and age. We are in March in the northeastern part of the countries, part of the Himalayas. So, keeping all this in view, we've designed a opening ceremony, which we hope to hold it indoors this time.
Okay.
A separate venue is being developed for this. A sporting opening ceremony has its own criteria, requirements, and technical points to cover, like the oath taking, like the acknowledgement of the various contingents, the unfurling of the flag. These are, required programs in an opening ceremony. Apart from that, we are looking forward to celebrating the Naga way of life. We are looking forward to exhibiting some of the best talents in art and music. And our music tells our way of life. Our music and our artists, our performers, our cultural ambassadors are the ones who tell Naga stories to the world. So we're looking forward to a very exciting, vibrant opening ceremony that will exemplify the ambition, the energy and the ambition of Naga youth.
Earlier you have mentioned that the game will be hosted in 3 different
Yeah.
places. So in Kohima, what are the games that citizens can witness for?
Kohima should look forward to fantastic competitions in athletics. Why are we having it in Kohima? Because that's the only synthetic track we have. We have an excellent stadium, IG Stadium. So athletics will take place there. But remember that athletics has dozens of medal events. We've also introduced a new event in athletics this time, that's cross country.
Okay.
Nagaland and the Northeast is good in cross country. And we have the topography and the terrain that is conducive to cross country. So we've introduced this in our games. And we hope that it will also promote new talent. So that's something that citizens can look forward to. I encourage citizens of Kohima to come and watch the athletics events. I also encourage the rest of the state, people who follow sports, the sports fraternity, and the citizens of Nagaland at large to come forward, be part of Team Nagaland and support our athletes, watch the games, and support the ambitions of the young people. We are one team. And we move forward in one direction together. The success of an athlete, a Naga athlete on a football field, in the athletics ground, in the archery complex, is his and her success. But it is also success of entire Naga society. Let's use sport to bring our people closer.
If given a chance to host again such kind of big events, do the government or from the end of the Nagaland Olympic Association wish to go beyond Kohima, Dimapur to other part of the districts for hosting such an event?
Well, absolutely. First of all, we have to understand the dynamics. Multidisciplinary sports events are generally held in one place because you have teams and states coming in from different parts of the country or part of the region. So you can't keep shuttling them and traveling them to different locations. That's one. Secondly, you need connectivity. Railhead, airport, good surface transport. So when cities and states bid to host games, these are the criteria that are looked into before you get permission to host big games. I think this erstwhile Dimapur district, now a tri-junction of Newland, Chumukedima and Dimapur, has a lot of advantages going for it because we have an airport, we have train connectivity, we have the 4-lane highway connecting us to the rest of the country. So connectivity is one big challenge that is looked at, and that advantage is there. Secondly, to accommodate 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, then hotels for delegates and officials. These are all the criteria that come in. So maybe Nagaland, the other districts are not yet ready to host big ticket events, but we have to keep upgrading infrastructure. And what we are doing in sport in Nagaland is we are having this dedicated infrastructure where you can play all discipline sports, but we are also creating infrastructure in the districts, indoor stadiums, AstroTurf grounds, synthetic tracks, so that these districts, the talent development takes place, coaching takes place, training takes place in this district, and they come to the bigger centers of excellence and sports academies where they have high performance training and we hone them for future, championships. So that's the game plan we have. We cannot take these type of championships to the interior areas because of logistical challenges, but sports infrastructure in the interior areas are being undertaken.
You have mentioned all the challenges. However, there are also many initiatives taken by the state government. Kindly share some initiative and intervention taken by the state government in the promotion of sports here in Nagaland.
I think over the last few years, the narrative in sport in Nagaland is changing in a better way. It's become a positive narrative. Last year, Chief Minister inaugurated 5 stadiums in 5 districts at one go. Last week, Chief Minister and Union Sports Ministry inaugurated 5 sports facilities in 5 districts at one go. These infrastructures are contributing towards the ecosystem of sport. We also have several Khelo India sports centers, and we are also having high performance training. For the national games, we brought coaches from outside the country to train our athletes. We are having high performance training in many disciplines through the year now. We are taking our sports persons for exposure. We are bringing coaches from outside. We are sending our technical officials, sports associations, and coaches for capacity building. So the entire ecosystem of sport is being changed. We have to understand that today's sport is no longer a recreation. It's no longer a hobby. It's a scientific field. And sport, if it is to be developed, has to be undertaken in a scientific approach. Under my department of IDAN, I am constantly pressing corporate houses to support us in sport. I'm happy that a couple of companies have come forward and agreed to sponsor scholarships in sports. These assistance and grants will be used to develop new talent and in areas where we have potential to perform. So we are also identifying which areas Nagas and our people will do well. We obviously cannot do well in all the sports. We don't have the physique or the structure to compete in certain sports disciplines. Neither do we have the weather and the infrastructure. So an entire ecosystem that is scientific and in tune with today's times is being evolved to work constantly.
So do you think that our youth can take up sports as a full-time profession and earn their livelihood?
Absolutely. Today, sport is a multi-billion-dollar industry. The government of India has said that in the next 10 years, the sport industry in India will, rise by more than 30%. India is now home to some of the richest and most popular sports leagues in the world. We cannot miss that bus. Naga youth, our children must get opportunities in that sports industry. But we have to understand that it is a competitive field. You cannot excel without putting in the investments and the hard work. So our government, our policymakers also have to understand that we have to make investments in human resource, in infrastructure, in capital investments so that our sports persons can excel. We are now winning medals in national games. Last time we won 11 medals. Our sports persons are winning international medals. In wrestling, we won medals at the Asian level. So the narrative is changing. More medals are coming in. I said earlier, in Imphal Northeast Games, we won 39 medals. In the Shillong Northeast Games, we won 89 medals, which 79 medals. We doubled our tally. So it's constantly improving, but it's also competitive. Others are also working hard. It's a competitive area. But yes, to answer your question, I think there's tremendous potential amongst our youth in sport, and they can have successful, gainful careers, and not only be successful, but contribute to India's growth and rise and nation building.
Your message to our sports persons and youth of the state?
Simple and straightforward. There are no shortcuts to success. Put in the hard work, run the extra mile, burn the extra midnight oil. Success will come looking for you. For us, we'll do our best that your dreams and aspirations are reached.
In conclusion, sir, how would you encourage our citizens or the neighboring states to come and witness this third edition of Northeast Game 2024 and support our own sports person?
We have a fantastic team of volunteers who will guide you once you come into the arenas. We encourage citizens of the state, especially nearby areas, to come and watch, witness, celebrate and enjoy. Support our teams. I also invite citizens of nearby northeastern states to come and watch the games. Another thing I want to highlight is every discipline will be available on our live streaming platforms. We've tied up with a private firm. They're doing a fantastic job. In the last Nagaland Olympics, we had more than 300,000 views in our sports. This time, entire Northeast will be watching. People outside of Northeast will be watching. So we are also available on our YouTube channel. All the sports will be available. You can tune into that, but nothing like physically coming in and being part of that atmosphere. So we invite all citizens of the state, people to support us, and we are hopeful that with the prayer support, the blessings of everybody, we should pull off something which Nagaland can be proud of.
When you see that there is an official YouTube channel, is it the Nagaland Olympic Association?
Nagaland Olympic Association. We have a tie-up with a company, so we will be available on other platforms and other handles also, but Nagaland Olympic Association handle all the sports will be live streamed.
So if any of the citizens willing to come and witness in person, is the entry to the game free, of course? Or?
Absolutely, its entry is free. So I said we have a fantastic team of volunteers. Anybody can walk in and you'll be guided by our volunteers. It's free, limited seats. First come, first get your seats.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mehta, for your time. It is always great to hear from a personality like you, having vast experiences, knowledgeable and passionate about young people, especially the sporting community of our state. Before winding up, let me remind our dear listeners who are tuning into our program to mark your calendars for March 18 to 23rd as we come together to witness the best of the Northeastern sportsmanship in action. Let us support our athletes cheer for their achievements, and make the Northeast Games 2024 an event to remember. Thank you once again, sir.
Thank you very much.